Poetic People, this is Wanda welcoming you back to Friday Night Mics, a presentation of the Slam Poet Society. This is mic check number 2 on Friday, March the 27th, 2020. We know that the world is going through a sense of pandemonium because of the pandemic, but we offer you peace, poetry, and praise on tonight. We're so excited about the lineup that we have. Sharon's going to clue you in. The door is open. Come on into this poetic experience and be blessed.
Hello, everyone. Do you know what time it is? It is spoken word time. Coming to you live, practicing social distancing next to the water, because you know God's peace is by the water. Tonight, we got MIC2 for you. Last week, we came to you live in your living room, your kitchen, or wherever you was with some hot artists. Tonight on the mic, we have Michael Parker, Cheryl Crockett, Ashley Hoover, Jay Renee, and your boy Analysis. It is spoken word time. Sit back, relax. We told you we'll come to you with some nice, clean, Christian spoken word to bless your entire family. So sit back, relax. It's MIC2. It is spoken word time. Sit back and see what everything God has in store. Bless you.
Every now and then you just got to stop and catch your breath. Life's got a habit of coming for you like a boulder in your chest. Sometimes you just got to sit still. Still enough to change, still enough to grow.
Standard English by Cheryl Crockett. Who hears the color? Who sees sound? Can you tell just by listening if I'm pale or brown? If I speak in a way that sounds bright or polite, you might hear me and then see me and say, "You sound white." Those 3 little words can make one suspect that my voice, not my skin, deserves your respect. That curious phrase is a resident thief that reiterates, reaffirms, and reinforces a belief, and robs a strong race of attributes that have no color or face. Who hears color? Who sees sound? Can you tell just by listening if I am pale or brown? Tell me I'm intelligent, or just say that I'm smart. In speaking, I'm hoping to master the art. It's called Standard English. It's a matter of choice. I insist that it is the color of my voice. My vocabulary is big and it's strong, and I use it. If I'm articulate, try not to confuse it with the sound of my speech or the tone of my talk, because voices have no color.
For years, I was not able to be who I thought I should be. I fell a slave to dreams of everybody else that were all around me, fronting like palm readers without a palm, psalmists without a song, visionaries without a clue of who I am or what I've been put here to do. I must admit, though, my mission was hazy. Thought I had the power only to save me. Had only I not heard of this man named Jesus, because I really didn't know that he could really please us. But hold on, let me introduce myself. I'm the younger brother who sought to gain wealth, demanded my inheritance, and blew right through it, faster than the Chicago wind, and quickly I knew it. But it was all good, until it was all gone. Living as a boy, striving to find my manhood, not comprehending being misunderstood. You see, I wanted a life on rush, all the while I couldn't get enough of the Hennessy and the E&J, but I just wanted to get away out of the pressures of life that were troubling me. Couldn't I see that my spiritual soul was absent from my body? Reckless endangerment was who I was part-time, church boy so well put together at all other times. gained insight into my internal rhythm of life, powered by the drummer of my own strife, syncopated beat of my heart, skipping beats and rules and creating my own world according to my own laws while coloring still within the lines. I used to get high by contact. My roomie thought that I needed that. Illegal substances, not by choice, couldn't find my own voice, smothered, covered, scattered brother in town. Like hash browns, my world was now turning upside down. I worked to fit into a new paradigm that could not be mine. You see, I had a new level of responsibility, but where was God? Could God not see me? Thought my empire couldn't strike back. Felt like society was wooing me so that I lacked for absolutely, positively nothing. Felt like the world was looking all around me, trying not to hear me, but only trying to judge me. Judging me for the sinner that I was, the misguided son that I was, instead of being the young man who just wanted to live again. But at my lowest, I heard a small voice, of the greatest voice or greatest echo I could ever hear. It said, "My son is back." But only the true God could welcome me home to a place where I've always been welcome, a place where the crisp echoes of his voice serves as ointment for my wounded soul, a place where God mends and reminds me that I matter, a place where fault is forgiven, where life is worth living, where everybody is welcome. On that day, we partied like it was my birthday, and it really was my re-birthday. God admitted in that still small voice, "My son is back." Amen.
Me had made the decision to turn on the light this time, because me had been feeling my way through the dark, accustomed to the shadowy figures and undefined things around me, but me was going to do this. Look straight ahead and allow my pupils to constrict and then slowly and evenly expand. Me was going to stretch open the windows to my soul and stare until light no longer burned. And then me was going to be in full focus, face to face with myself. Oh, hello. I've missed you. Yeah, you who totally upended, pouring completely from yourself, not from your overflows, but from your stores. The depth of you, the life force that was meant to sustain you, to help you to thrive, but instead, you just survive and you get by. You're soaking the hurt and the loss and sis. While that is admirable, you have become completely absorbed. There's no definition in you. You've watched seconds, minutes, hours tick away, making days that you did not think you were wasting, but it turns out that you were helping other people pursue their passions. Yes, you stood poised, watching everyone else's dreams dilate and slowly start crowning. You alone with your own goals painfully contracting in your belly, convinced that you deserved the labor but not the birth. You alone, piling on, holding in, shouldering burdens, singing your sister's blues while falling painfully flat in your own tomb. Baby, where are you? Me? I'm waiting for the day that you begin to peel back the layers and undo you so that you can meet me. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Me as woman, not chromosome defined, not the width of my hips or the dimples in my thigh, but an energy that was given to me by the divine. A wanting, needing, discerning, nurturing being. Me. Myself as light, love, and hope to myself, with a voice, a strong, firm, eloquent voice that is affirming of me. Yes, me, allowing of me to be seen by me, and appreciating every true piece of me that I was created to be. Myself is evolving, and even though I'm nervous, I won't be afraid of the planting and the sowing and the reaping that it takes to keep becoming me, to relax the tension and enjoy the relief of me releasing me. Because, see, there was something like a pulling, a stretching, a tautness. It hurt and it felt good at the same time. There was an angling, a reaching, an arching, a bending. The kind where muscles were right at the edge of an ache that threatened an uncontrolled spasm. She teetered on this thin line between relief and severe pain. Silent tears slid from her eyes into her ears as she laid there. A sudden inhale, too shallow and sharp to provide any necessary oxygen. She closed her eyes and saw stars. She thought she might faint, but instead, she smiled. How could she smile? It was time. For bearing down, for pushing, for trusting. Possibilities had bloomed. They'd nurtured by prayer. They had knit themselves together inside of her, growing. And now, here they are, daring her to push. It was time. Because you see, there was a pulling, stretching, a tautness. All these possibilities were making their way into position, and now the labor begins. Be blessed.
You can find me at Analysis the Poet, and I'm hoping and praying for the health of you and yours, and for the brothers and sisters who are really on the inside. You know, the old folk used to say, Paul and Silas, bound in jail, sing God's praise both night and day, and I hope that Trump might blow me home to the New Jerusalem. I hope it does blow them home, although seized in the marketplace of human capital. But right now, all I hear are blustering boasts about being tough on crime and misleading media made to maintain some manufactured war on drugs that keeps officials chasing the scream of those in need while ignoring their cries for help. Thus, sales swell. More dwell in them here in the land of liberty than anywhere else. Even the smallest or most repentant of offenses could get you caught up in the maze of mandatory minimums. This mandates a story, at minimum of telling of truth, because this situation might have you doing time, and time keeps on slipping into the future. We want to fly like an eagle, but all we see is the new Jim Crow in the societal cage, with human rights perverted in the presence of the Most High, human nights deserted, people missing, broken families cry, millions on the inside, near forgotten. Do we ask why? Seems like folk are careless how they got there, or if numbers die in deplorable conditions, their lamentations being met with lamentable lies. Oh, sure, the rulers speak pretty words about equal justice, but modify their verbs to contain no action. Their sentence structure is unbalanced, with a biased renoun that predicates a belief that people of color and poor whites are to be relegated to a subordinate clause. Pardon my grammar, but that ish just ain't right, and the only corrections I see are the glaring ones that need to be made to this criminal injustice system. Both public and privatized prisons are run like rental companies, with individuals treated as junk for storage. This arrangement might have you hauled away, but this ain't Mom's Attica. It's the sand quintessential squelching of souls, with no renaissance of freedom in Florence, more like the crucifixion of lies, and Angola 3 up on crosses of falsehood, fear, and greed. Even the Nazarene would catch the fulsome prison blues under these conditions. Imagine if the carpenter had to sing a song of stolen liberties. Countless commune in his name, yet act as if the least of these are mere unleavened, worth passing over. Take 2.2 million of the Creator's loved ones locked up in this country. Add to them the 21 million of God's children, many just children, carted around the world as chattel, driven by the trade in forced sex and labor, and you've got gridlock on the road to any human rights, with nobody moving freely. Up next, human traffic and weather. Or not, you choose to reroute your eyes around it, it's still there. Wonder why this absurdity is so out of control? Follow the money. The prison industrial isn't that complex when its context is clarified as corporate players monopolizing human beings like tokens after they land on go to jail. It's easier to figure when you factor in the foolishness of police districts blowing up their Brooklyn beds. You see, this is slavery by any other name. Oh, wait. The loophole in the 13th does call it that, doesn't it? Well, there it is. As easy as 1, 2, 3. The strikes you get before being struck out of the roster of full citizenship, sent down to the minors, disenfranchised. You don't even get that many swings if you're the away team trying to play in the home park of the privileged. Hard-working folk forced to flee their forebears' farms due to falling prices fashioned by free trade agreements, or fleeing arms fueled and forged in northern factories and Faustian pacts between our federal and its nefarious friends. Thousands go through hell to get here, only to wind up in hell. Surprised? Well, you won't hear tell of this too much, how welcoming government tries to quell this, trying to keep it on the slide. But now detention is a family affair, with everyday people rounded up together then torn apart. Parents and children made separate, but equal is the pain in their hearts. They were hoping this country would want them to stay, but they discovered that even here, not
Didn't I tell you? I tried to tell you. The poets tonight were just so amazing. We thank and praise God for all of you who tuned in, and especially for our magnificent poets, for Michael Parker, for Cheryl Crockett, better known as Poette Atet, for Ashley Hoover, for Jay Renee, and for the incomparable Ken Analysis Brown. We love you poetically, and we just thank God for you. I am just excited about this, and I pray that you will continue to tune in to the Slam Poet Society every Friday night at 8 o'clock p.m. And for my co-conspirator in the spoken word, Sharon Milton, love you as well. What do you have to say about tonight, ma'am?
We tried to tell you it was going to be hot. Didn't we tell you? But I can tell you enjoyed it, because I can see you snapping your fingers, nodding your head as you make your way to the kitchen for the 10th snack of the day. Hallelujah. It is Slam Poet Society. Thank you all for coming out again tonight for MIC2. We look forward to next week, MIC3. We have something special for you all. Let me tell you a secret. You can tell everybody. Next week is Ladies' Night. Slam Poet Society, we got some heat that'll catch on fire just like the Holy Ghost. Thank you for your support, your love. God bless you. It's spoken word time.